afternoon. Great to be here. Thank you, Plegon, for inviting me. I was told never to say that I'm the only thing that divides you between you and the break, because it doesn't show anything good about my talk. But yeah, I'm the only thing that divides you from that. So my name is Sella. I'm the CEO of NVision, a company based in Germany. It's a quantum sensing company based in Germany. It was founded 10 years ago, but as I always like to say, it was founded, it's been 100 years in the making. This is 1925, exactly 100 years ago. And this is a paper by Otto Warburg, a professor from the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in Berlin. And Otto published this paper in 1925, which is called The Metabolism of Cancer. And what he showed there is that cancer metabolism is fundamentally different than normal tissues. We all know we go to the gym, we work out, we cannot provide enough oxygen to our muscles, at least I am, and we basically start soaring because of the production of lactate. There's more lactic acid produced in our muscles. And what Otto found out is that not only that cancers take a lot of metabolism, a lot of energy, but they also metabolize it in a very different way. They choose to produce a lot of lactate out of the sugar they receive, even in an environment of abundant oxygen. And that was a big revelation that led to many additional revelations following that. Because metabolism and cancer metabolism really gives us the whole story. It gives us the beginning in terms of diagnosing cancers earlier. The ability, if we had the ability to detect cancer metabolism, we could detect the cancerous cells even before the formation of visible tumors. If we had access to cancer metabolism, we would also know how aggressive a tumor is, because the more aggressive they are, the more deviated the metabolism, the more lactate they produce. And eventually, we will also know whether they're responding to treatment in matter of days instead of matter of months, because we'll be able to see whether there's an effect on the engine of the tumor, on its metabolism, well before we see the impact on the volume and those slow-changing anatomical effects. The problem is that metabolism is invisible. Even our strongest metabolic and molecular imaging modalities cannot really give us the fate of the sugar, the fate of the carbohydrate. MRI, which is by far the best modality we have for soft tissues, where most cancers tend to appear, and intrinsically can detect any molecule. Even MRIs, unfortunately, cannot detect the signal coming from sugars. They can give us an incredible anatomical image with great resolution, but they cannot detect the signal coming from sugars. And you would say, hey, why not create a much stronger MRI? So behind me here is this monster is the strongest MRI in the world. It was inaugurated last year in Paris. It is around 10 times stronger than the MRI you know from your clinic. It is a result of an international collaboration, hundreds of millions in investment to build one of these. It requires a building this size with reinforced concrete just to shield it from the environment. And even this monster cannot detect the signal coming from sugars. It's just below the noise level. And we, as a company, 10 years ago, decided we want to make metabolism visible to MRIs, not by making a stronger MRI, we already saw that's not possible, but by increasing the signal coming from the metabolite, by leveraging quantum dynamics to increase that signal. Here you can see, this is the signal of sugars by normal MRIs. It's basically well below the noise level. This is the signal of water. This is basically what MRIs are using to create that beautiful anatomical image. So we said, hey, can we make the signal of sugars comparable to the signal coming from water so it becomes detectable by standard MRIs? And the way to do this, again, is not by making a better MRI, but by increasing the signal of sugars. So we're taking sugars that we have designed. They come in simple consumables, a simple vial of sugar. We place it in our polarizer. Our polarizer, basically what it does, it takes the sugar and it magnetizes the sugar. It manipulates with the nuclear spins a subatomic particle. We orient them in a single direction, making their magnetic resonance signal almost 100,000 times stronger compared to the baseline, right? And that's where the quantum part comes in, because we can do this in 3 minutes. The system is called Polaris. It's a pun between polarization and the fact that we want to see this one day as a guiding tool for clinicians. And this is how it works. The sugar starts with this unoriented, randomly pointing nuclear spins. And what we do is we basically orient the nuclear spins in a single direction, making the signal 100,000 times stronger compared to the baseline, and making it almost comparable to the signal coming from water. And imagine how much water we have in our body, that we're making these few grams of sugar in that vial comparable in MR signal to liters of water in our bodies. And now, for the first time, we're able to visualize metabolism as it happens in real time and overlay it on top of the anatomical image of the MRI. And we do this with spatial resolution. Look at this glioblastoma, and you can see exactly the areas where more part of it is the sugar we're injecting that's being absorbed, and exactly the areas where more lactate is being produced. These are much more aggressive, much more active areas of cancer compared to the knowledge we have just with the anatomical information. We're now launching this system, how it's going to be used. I'm just giving you some examples. MD Anderson, one of the strongest cancer centers in the world, some would say the strongest one, is going to be using it for early diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. The difference between stage 1 pancreatic cancer to stage 4 pancreatic cancer is the difference between 3% survival rate in 5 years to over 80% survival rate in 5 years. If you can detect cancers just based on metabolism before the formation of visible tumors, that would save lives. UCL, University College of London, is going to be using it for disease progression in prostate cancers. Prostate cancers are one of the only cancers where we're sending men home. We're telling them this is a low-grade tumor. You will die with the tumor, not because of the tumor. And as long as it's really a low-grade tumor, this is true. The problem is that 20% of the patients are sent home with what we think is a low-grade tumor, but actually they come back in 2 years with a much more aggressive tumor than we thought. We know that we can use metabolism to identify tumors that we think are indolent in standard MRIs, and in pathology, we can detect that their metabolism is far more aggressive and flag them to clinicians. And lastly, on treatment efficacy. We're working with Sloan Kettering on a project now where we would like to determine whether treatment is working or not in different drug classes in a matter of days without waiting for the standard imaging to really show the effect within months. We know that in radiation therapy, for example, we believe we can detect in real time, as the beam hits the target, when it causes damage to the DNA, we can already visualize the metabolic effects that it's causing to the tumor and showing efficacy. We're launching, as I mentioned, the system right now to the strongest cancer centers in the world. This is a pivotal moment for us. We are aiming here to create metabolic imaging at a different standard, at scale. Just think about our best performing metabolic imaging today is PET scanners. We only have 2,500 of these because they require all of this radioactive supply chain, hot labs, nuclear waste management, while we can be attached to any MRI worldwide, which is an order of magnitude more MRIs. And cancer is just the beginning. Metabolism is fundamental to any disease area. If you're thinking about Alzheimer's disease, for example, Alzheimer's disease is fundamentally a metabolic disease. Right? We know that today. Some people call it even diabetes type 3. We would like to be part of that journey to stage the disease, to detect it early, and to develop new drugs to fight it. As I mentioned, it's been 100 years in the making. But what we're really excited about right now is the next 100 years. And once this technology is in the hands of remarkable researchers from the US, from Europe, and in Asia, we would like to see what they will do with it. And we want to be a part of this. Thank you so much.